I mean, I was just thinking about it the other day. I was like, why don't we have any really strong, like, quotable comedy characters right now? Because we're all still quoting Schitt's Creek, and that's been done for a while.
Yeah.
But those characters are quotable because they have such strong, clear POVs, and they have clear flaws. There's points where we don't like Catherine O'Hara, and that's important to creating a three-dimensional comedy character. Mm-hmm. And the comedies that have come out even in the last, I want to say like 4 or 5 years, don't have that clear POV. I can't think of a single character in Canadian comedy. I mean, and they must be out there because of course I haven't seen every show, but right. I can't think of a single character where I go, yeah, I see myself in that person. That person has flaws. That person is hilarious, but that person comes with a really, really clear POV that is niche. And the comedy is in the nicheness, you know?
This is so interesting because, like, I find with performers very often now it's become like I'm not going to tell tales out of school, but I am speaking of like actual on-set experience, where actors will come to me and they'll say, I don't like all of these things about my character in this moment. Why would they be doing this? This makes them seem weak. This makes them seem this. This makes them seem, blah, 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 blah. And then they ask me, well, what's your opinion about it? As though it's a problem with the writing. And I essentially end up giving the note, like, you have just listed all of the reasons why your character is interesting.
Yes.
And you're deciding that those are problems for you as a performer, rather than as gifts of three-dimensionality that you then get to cultivate and turn into a long-standing arc for a character.
Yeah.
But instead, I have literally worked with talents that then go, come to blows with creative on sets, not understanding that they're just asking them to make their characters less interesting.
Right. And
unfortunately, we exist in Canada in a world where usually creatives are more than happy to oblige. And it's bonkers.
Right.
And it doesn't help either.
Yeah. I always think, like, if I were to give anybody like comedy acting advice, it would be, it's your job to find justification. Like, and I'm sure that goes with any villain, where it's your job to make that make sense for you. Yeah. What would put you in the headspace that having that flaw or taking that action that maybe morally is questionable on the compass, but how do you justify that for yourself as an actor so that it makes sense? Because the whole thing about comedy is that you can't point out the jokes. It just has to be real for you. Mm-hmm. That's why Catherine O'Hara is so funny. That's why Mike Myers is so funny. They can be really bad people, and they buy it, and we buy it, and then the jokes they come out in it,
And it's so interesting, the universality of bad people, and I think that's also something that society Western civilization is like the vast majority of non-developed countries have bigger problems to worry about. So we've created all of these, but. That idea of bad people, like, it's such a matter of perspective.
Sure.
Depending on who you ask, like, some people in the world who have met me will be like, yeah, Doug's really great. Some people will be like, Doug's kind of meh. Other people will be like, Doug's a real piece of shit. And of course, yeah. And everybody has those people, and all of them are right. Because in general, in my life, I try to be as good as I can and have a positive impact on people. Some days I'm pretty fucking meh. And for some situations in my life, I've been a real piece of shit. And all of that is true. And none of that is wrong. It's just a part of the complexity of being human. And I think it's really interesting that we're getting into this mode of storytelling where we're only concerned with virtue.
Yep.
And virtue is incredibly boring.
Yep.
Like, the greatest stories, like, I'm talking, Jesus on the cross was like, oh my God, why have thou forsaken me? Like, even he was like doubting.
I just recently watched Godfather.
Yeah.
That's so pretentious. I just recently, but I did because it was on and it's so amazing. But all the characters suck. And Succession.
Yes.
We love Succession. They suck.
Yeah.
And isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
I do love playing a villain or like a character with qualities like that, that's outside of yourself a little bit.
Yeah, it's like, literally the whole point. I don't know very many people who became actors for the purpose of being like, I just want to do like the one thing that's really like me. So I chose pretending to be other people. It seems like a dumb reason to go into the job.